Welcome, everyone. I'm Ann Melrose from the Washington Stormwater Center. I'm the Education Outreach Coordinator for the state for the municipal jurisdictions, stormwater jurisdictions. And I have Brandon Boyd here with me to co-host and back me up. Always nice to have a co-host. And I'm very excited today to introduce Jacqueline Fuller and her team. She's going to talk about EnviroChallenger and some wonderful stormwater games that she and her team have created. Put some fun in stormwater. Jacqueline has a bachelor's degree with studies in environmental science from the University of Washington in Tacoma, a master's in teaching degree from City University, and a 4th through 12th general science biology emphasis endorsement from Pacific Lutheran University. She's lived in Tacoma for most of her life. All of your life, Jacqueline? So I'm going to let her go ahead and tell you the wonderful work they've been doing. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. I also have two of my colleagues here, John Inch and Gator Lemper, and they were going to go ahead and introduce each other when we're going through the presentation. But first, I just want to show you a little bit about the program. Here we're talking about the EnviroChallenger program. This is a City of Tacoma program that has been funded and sponsored through the environmental services of the City of Tacoma. So that's environmental services have 3 different utilities. We have solid waste, we have wastewater, and then of course we have our focus here today, stormwater. And with that, we started the program in about 2000, and we've been running strong since then. We've been building it from just a small little program that was out of the van. We bring the students out to the van and do a little programming with them to now we have over 25 different lessons, and we have high school lessons, and we bring high school students in and talk to them. So it's all through K through 12. With that being said too, I just want to say the EnviroChallenger mission statement, enhancing Tacoma's quality of life by promoting environmental health through public information and education. So overview of the EnviroChallenger program as it is now. We have our K-12 classroom lessons. We also have Enviro art lessons, which I'm going to have Gator talk about. We have our teacher professional development lessons and workforce development, and we have community event and public outreach. The K-12 classrooms, see? I know. My computer is really not working super well either. So we're just all sorts of messed up. So fun for you. Yay. We're giving you the experience of what it would be like when you're out in that kindergarten classroom having all us kindergartners, come at you. So there you go. You got to think on your feet and pivot real quickly. So K-12 classroom lessons. We have a number of different lessons all around solid waste, stormwater, wastewater, pollution prevention, air quality, climate change, urban forestry, conservation, sustainability. And then, of course, we have the environmental art lessons. And we will send you that link. So we have a website. You can go and see the individual lessons and more details on each of the lessons. And the Enviro art lessons, we have several different lessons, and Gator will explain a little bit more about that when he has taken over the screen. But we have a lot of different lessons about how to reuse instead of wasteful. We have encouraging water prevention, pollution. We have storm and ecosystem lessons, and a lot of different things, because we know that students are learning by multi different levels, right? And so we're looking at learning through speech, learning through visual, but also hands-on and art component. There we go. Workforce development, we have the summer program, and these two guys are laughing at me in the background, so it's throwing me off. So of course, we're on the kindergarten lesson here. The summer certificate programs, we focus on diversity and green job training. So I bring a lot of students into the summer program. We also come by, and Anne helps us out. We bring the students over to Anne and her group, and we talk to students about their experience and getting them experiences in green jobs, and especially stormwater and how that all affects our world. And with that, they get industrial certificates such as the HAZWOPER, and they get the CECL training, they get flagger training, they get CPR. So all the different types of training. So that way it just encourages them to be able to have extra to go out into the work world. And then we have Next Move internships. So I bring in about 20 students that are high school age, and they go through all the city, in fact, not just environmental services, and experience all the different jobs that are throughout the city. But we mainly, of course, focus on our green jobs that are here in the environmental services. We also take off our hats, our school hats or teacher hats during the summer, and we put on our community and outreach hats, and that's mostly with John Inch, and he'll talk to you about some of those fun experiences too when he takes over the screen. We go to various community events. Sometimes we go up to 32 events per year and talk to all of our community about different lessons and different messages that we have at our environmental services. And with that, what we want to do is, fade to black. What we're going to do now is I'm going to let Gator take over the screen. I'll move the computer over to you. These guys, they're so fun to work with, but it's like working with kindergartners. We're going to show you a couple of the lessons that we are teaching out in the classroom that are mainly focused on that stormwater messaging. I'm going to have John and Gator go through all those lessons that we have and kind of explain a little bit more about what we do and what they do in the classrooms. And we're open to questions, so you feel free to ask questions, and we will also have about 15 minutes at the end to ask questions. So with that being said, of course, we're so technology challenged here that I'm just going to turn my computer around and we're going to use the camera here. Here we go.
Hop day, everybody. My name is Gator, like alligator. And yeah, I get to do the art component, which is really cool. I get to bring art lessons into the K through, mostly K through 5, but K through 8, working on art. One of the ones I work on is a salmon goitaku, where it's the Japanese fish printing, where kids create a fish out of some materials, and then they paint it, and then we press it down on a piece of paper and peel it up, and they're left with a print that looks like the fish prints. So that's a fun one. And then I do a reuse cereal boxes for, it's fun. Cereal boxes for cardboard creation. We made bats on Halloween, but I think I'm going to make work with the bugs that are the dangerous bugs for our trees to work on the urban forestry angle of it all. So one of the lessons we have for stormwater, we recently rebranded it because Tacoma has a new slogan, and it's "If it hits the ground, it hits the sound." And we have been implementing that for several years now. And this lesson is based on the idea that there are certain things that affect our stormwater, or the health of our stormwater. We have a worksheet the kids work with, and it's a memory game with cards like this. And so when they get a match, they get to then come over to our station, and if it's a negative impact on the water, they put the dark color liquid drops into this fishbowl. If it's a positive impact or a zero impact, they put the clear water in there. And then they go through, and at the end, these will be filled up with water. And the clear water, you'll see that there's no change, whereas the other one with the negative impacts will show how much the water has polluted from just things that humans do, like not picking up after their dog, or washing their car in the street, or using pesticides and whatnot on your chemicals. So that's one of the activities that we have, and it's been rebranded as If It Hits the Ground. And then the other one that's with the salmon that I'm going to show you is we have this cool board that was designed a long time ago, and each activity, or each player gets to have a little fish, and they roll the dice and follow basically the salmon going from the creek all the way down to the bay. And then when they get to the bottom, they get to turn around and head right back up to follow the life cycle of the salmon. And there's many hazards on the way, heading on the way down, loss of habitat, you go back to the start, you get to eat some bugs, you move ahead one place. Oh, there. And then there's like dam run or a farm runoff, and that's -1. Pick up dog poop, go ahead. And then they get all the way through the back. And if they manage to get to the estuary and out to the water and survive, they go past the predators, and they got to come all the way back and get past the bears. And then as the life cycle goes, they die. But if there's time, the kids get to start all over again. So that's kind of how that one works. And that's a fun one on the salmon. Salmon game. John left, I don't know why. So this is a fun game and the kids really love it. We also have a pocket activity where they play rock, paper, scissors, and they get to play the life cycle of salmon, which is a fun interactive game where they have to try to find an egg, an alvin, and then the other pieces of the life cycle. And they play rock, paper, scissors to advance through the system. So Zamboni. And then yeah, those 2 lessons are great for younger students. And then I can go do this one if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
And then over here,
John's getting the middle school.
Oh, yeah, another salmon one. So we also have the tree lesson, since we deal with trees, the urban foresters. And this is a big board of tree, and this is what people imagine our city looks like with all the pollution. And we have the kids look at it and we say, okay, what do you see in this? Is this a pretty place to live? Is this someplace you think about living? And then they get to play this game where they roll a dice. And as they group as a collective roll a dice, they get to come up and peel off to reveal a prettier city underneath the magnet puzzle. So, and then you're revealed to see, I can remember, is this the one? Nope. I was trying to grab the mountain. Nope, there it is. So you can see Mount Tahoma back there, and birds and stuff. And then they examine what the city looks like after we've cleared it up with the use of trees, sequestering that carbon and killing pollution. So that's those 2. Did you want to? And then what do we have? The salmon. You want to do the salmon one?
So those 2 are the elementary lessons. Are those
Those
3
yeah.
are the elementary lessons? Do we have any questions about those 3 so far?
There's a couple comments. But...
I do.
Yes.
I do. Hey, are those kind of things available for others? Like that board looks like it might be shareable, or
kids want to buy this game. No, we don't have it. Like, it's only for the city of Tacoma, right? That we use this stuff. So I don't know about the.
It has special iconic markings on it that's for the city of Tacoma. So other municipalities, can use it if they want to, but it is Tacoma specific. But we are willing to share. And if somebody is wanting to use this and bring it out to their classrooms, we could rent them out and check them out, because we have a couple extra sets. But as far as buying them or using them, we can send you all the artwork for it, and you could, feel free to use that.
Okay.
But
that's probably good. That's a good start right there. Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And then same with the tree lesson. We have all the artwork there, and as they, peel off the different layers and stuff, they end up making the city come green.
I really love the way those pieces peel off. Marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
Someone says, how does that board game work with MLL students? What is MLL?
Learners.
Okay.
Is that multi-language learner?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A lot of times we have to rely on other students in the class to help us with that. I'm not a multi-language speaker, so I often rely on the students that are there to help. And we often find, especially anymore, that there are students in the classroom that are like almost assigned to help translate and deal with language issues.
But a lot of times we do focus on the visual, making sure that the visual is expressing the messaging that we're talking about. So, and then we have looked into getting dual language for some of the paperwork that we send out.
And also use Google Translate on my phone when it's absolutely necessary in a classroom.
Okay.
Invaluable. So a lot of kids, it's just that patience of working with other kids, and whether they, they're struggling or learning the language, or if they just, don't know it, and that's okay. I have to do my best as an educator to just, help them with it, and rely on the visual is, important. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Were there any other questions?
Let's see. Yep, me too. You choose PowerPoint. Yeah. I mean, short of sticking a babel fish in your ear from Hitchhiker's Guide, there's not much I can do. So, like, I would love to learn. I guess, you know, there is that, you can get a Google Translate in your ear, which,
No, but the main thing, the main point is that we do a lot of visual. So with all of our lessons, it's very visual because we take that in consideration. We have to have access for all students, all languages, and making sure that the students are engaged with the hands-on activity. You know, so yeah, they're in that game board. There is a bit of reading, and then we hope to like make sure that they will be able to understand, but like I said, we had taken the extra step to make sure that most everything is by a visual.
so, and then on the tree game, the dice has different, it has five sides that are the same, and then one side that is different, and that's the one they're looking to roll. So that does kind of simplify for anyone who's, you know, not sure what the game is. They can understand that we have to roll this one, and the kids get, you know, they help each other out. There's a lot of the kids today are so, you know, understanding and accepting of kids who aren't speaking the same languages, and so it's nice to see.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do take a conscious effort to make sure that all students are welcomed and addressed and stuff. And we did, you know, like equity toolkit, you know, experiment on all of our lessons to make sure that our visuals do represent all different sorts of people and different positions and everything. So making sure to be very inclusive in the language that we use and the visuals that we have supporting our lessons.
They're going to try these games. You could come to a classroom with us. No.
I mean, it's kind of realistic. Outside of coming to a classroom, we don't really have these out a lot. Or an event like this, or you can invite us to a spot and we can bring our lessons along and bring our games along.
Yep.
So yeah, out and we can coordinate something possibly.
So now,
another comment suggesting maybe if you could upload a PDF of these, use it as inspirations for maybe other jurisdictions to kind of make something similar, and maybe the rules or how you promote that. Not to give you guys more work, but
I know. for sure. But a lot of these lessons have been taken off of what is that old Project Wet. That was
Yes.
an old program
Yeah.
that we've had from before.
Yeah.
And a lot of like even our water cycle lesson and stuff, it's all taken out of Project Wet and adapted to our city and putting in city iconic images within the different lessons to make sure that, you know, that the city, that the students can recognize and make it more, you know, of a local event. So with that being in mind, John's going to show you a couple of middle school lessons that have been brought up or thought up out of us, you know. So it's been created by EnviroChallenger. So this is really special because you can't find these anywhere else because they're out of the brains of the three. So they're kind of crazy.
Or any pieces.
so
So our middle school lesson is again kind of an extension from our elementary school lesson. It gets into a little bit more of the requirements for salmon and their life cycle. But again, we're covering the basics of the information. So on the back of this, we have these kind of like these map cards that we had developed and designed. We have all sorts of great information about the Pacific salmon, the life cycle, the different varieties of salmon out there, tons of great definitions and information along the sides. So as we're doing our instructional portion of the lesson, the kids get to follow along on this. And then we get into a game. And our game is kind of based off of that old card game, kind of like War, in which the students are working to collect these 5 items here. And we set a number of them that they're supposed to collect out of a deck. And they have the deck between each other. And it's that classic, you know, you draw a card and what you're looking for is not anything marked in red. So these are what we call setback cards. And so if the students have actually collected, our blue life cycle cards, this one represents clean water. So we'll usually have them collect about 5 of the clean waters, but every time they draw one of the red cards, they have to take that away. So it's a build and a take, a build and a take. And then of course, there's always fishing or predators out there. And so there's another one again that we can use this in the game where they can take an opponent's clean water cards or whatnot. So the students work their way through the cards in the game after we've done a lecture, and they kind of learn a little bit more about the challenges and struggles that salmon face as they go through their life cycle. So this is another game that we've had developed here with us, working with a local artist who did all the beautiful artwork on here, and then we just kind of like gave her all the text and everything that went with it. So this is another one that was developed out of our program for a need to do something in the middle school level.
And you developed all those little cards too.
Yes. Now, this is one of those things, Jacqueline doesn't get enough credit for stuff. She sat down with cards and figured out the exact number of cards that make this game fit into 15 minutes. She played this game tirelessly. Is it 7? Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it 10? Is it 5? And then she settled on 5. And I can't tell you how many times she played the game, trying different variations, but 5 was legitimately the magic number. Unbelievable. So yeah, this is a Jacqueline brainchild, and we just sat down and put pen to paper and came up with that and worked it out. And then this is another one too. This is something that Jacqueline saw a need for to address a jobs aspect. So getting kids aware of the jobs that are available, and then just helping people understand what is involved with being a stormwater investigator. And so I knew that was going to happen eventually. So this board was designed and developed out of Jacqueline's brainchild here, and we worked again with another artist to kind of put some Tacoma specific features in here. So it's kind of a faux map with some real Tacoma items. And again, this could be something that could be replicated in any community. It's really just a grid map that we sat down and made it look like streets and grounds and whatnot. And then we put a couple of our local community features. But we start in this lower corner here, and then we have the students take litmus paper and test along a route that we've designed in here, in which the water inside the tube will change the paper colors. So if it's just water in the tube, just plain straight water, the litmus paper won't turn any color. And so we work them on a test on that. But if it's got a baking soda solution, is what we use in here to change the litmus paper, it responds and the students track along. And so we create, again, after we've done a lecture portion of what is stormwater, non-point, point source, what our stormwater teams do, what an investigation looks like. We have them work through a card game where they're matching some different types of stormwater pollution that's out there, common things. And then we have them play this game, and they work their way through the whole course as a team. And so by the time they get to where the actual source of pollution is, they've pretty much figured out the board and what's going on with it. And then they just report out at the end where they found it. And then we just kind of talk about what the city generally does in those situations.
Yeah, so basically what they're doing is we give them a scenario. We say, here at the outfall of our storm drain, we found pollution. And then we show them that it's polluted and we test it. And then they go, and then we say, now you are now an employee of the city of Tacoma. You are now an inspector, a stormwater inspector. So you're going to have to go through and find out where that source came from, where that pollution came from. So they have to work their way back through the puzzle. That's kind of like a line, maze. And they could go up one section and they'll see, oh no, that pollution's not there. And they'll go through another section. Okay. And they keep tracing it all the way back, taking off these white caps. They're manholes of the city. So we have about 3 different manholes that they have to go through and test. And then they get to the source pollution. They have to write it all up as, their investigation and everything like that. So it was really cool game, because then they learn what our investigators are doing and what jobs are tied to stormwater, and as far as looking at the